Howdy everyone. So it's been a while since I've updated you all on my training, and I do want to document all the most important stuff of this whole process, and that mostly includes training, but it also includes any setbacks as well, and I have dealt with a minor setback recently. So to explain everything that happened, I need to go all the way back to January 23rd, which was my first workout of phase 2, which was 6 times 1K at CV and then 2 times 200. So going into this workout, I had a very slight bit of discomfort in my knee, but it wasn't enough to affect the workout at all. And then actually after the workout, when I was doing my strength training and I was doing some squats, and these weren't just body weight squats, I actually had a bar and some weights on my back, and I felt a little twinge in my knee. Didn't really think much of it, it wasn't a big deal at the time, and was able to carry on with training the next few days. That workout was on a Thursday, was able to run just fine on Friday, Saturday, and had a good Sunday long run where I was clipping off 6 flats for a lot of the last bit of the run, so good few days of training after that. So through all of those runs that I just talked about, my knee would just feel a little bit goofy for the first couple miles, and then it would warm up and feel totally fine. And this includes the next Monday and to the next week. And on Tuesday, I had planned to do the lumberjack, which I did do it, but the discomfort stayed around a little longer through the warm-up, and then while I was doing build-ups or strides before the actual workout, I was actually debating on whether I should do the workout or not. And I ended up doing it, of course, as you saw, and it went well, but that did cause a lot more discomfort in my knee. So the next day after the lumberjack on Wednesday, there was enough discomfort in my knee where I thought, okay, it's not a good idea to run. I'll just take my day off today and I'll be good to go tomorrow, and I'll pick right back up where I left off. So then I ran on Thursday. It was kind of the same deal where it was pretty uncomfortable for the first couple of miles, and then it never really went away during the entire run, but I still got in 8 miles, and it was just kind of weird. It was altering my stride a little bit. So then I knew I had to get rid of this, because if I was running with a different stride and everything and unbalanced and everything, that was probably going to cause other problems. So I just need to get rid of this knee problem as soon as possible. So then I decided to take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, and I could definitely gauge how my knee was doing throughout the day, because I could feel it while walking around and mainly going up and down stairs. And Saturday wasn't really a day off for me because we were hosting a big meet that started running events at 9 a.m. and didn't finish till like 10:30 p.m. So it definitely didn't feel like 3 days straight off, but I did need to not run during that, so I was still feeling a little rough on Sunday after hosting that meet. So now on to the next week. On Monday, after 3 consecutive days off from running, I set out for another run, and didn't really have a plan of how far I wanted to go, but started out, and the first couple of miles were pretty rough with my knee, and I was thinking about turning around and stopping, but just at the right time it started to warm up a little bit, and the last 6 miles were okay, but the first couple of miles were pretty bad. So I was still iffy on how the knee was doing and everything, and decided that I was going to run every other day for this week and see how that affected it. I also decided at this time that this was probably just a little case of patellar tendonitis, so I started a little rehab routine just mainly on the quads and glutes and stretching, and definitely was sore the next day, but I could definitely feel an improvement in my everyday activities on Tuesday. Then when I ran again on Wednesday, there was a ton of improvement on my running. There was just the slightest amount of discomfort at the beginning of the run, but it felt pretty natural for the rest of the run. Took another day off on Thursday, and then Friday, with how I felt on Thursday, I decided if I felt perfect on Friday, then I would throw a little bit of moderate pace stuff into my run, because I didn't want to get too far away from any form of running more than just easy running. So it turns out that I did feel great, so I went out and did 8 miles on Friday, 4 miles out in about 6:25 if I remember right, and then the 4 miles back in about 6 flat, and I felt really good doing that. So I was pretty much good to go at this point, but I decided to take Saturday off after that as well. Then on Sunday, I hit up a 14-mile long run and did quite a bit of that at a moderate pace as well, and averaged 6:16 for 14 miles. The last 10 were all close to 6:0s. So that one felt really good, because I hadn't taken too many days off to where I lost a bunch of fitness, but I was keeping in touch with running just enough to where I felt really fresh on this long run, so that felt really easy. And now we're on to this week, which I'm treating very normally and just doing a normal routine. So Monday went for 8 miles after the long run. Was a little bit sore, but I felt great still, very structurally sound. And then Tuesday I did a double with a workout in the afternoon, and the workout went really well as well. The workout that I did was 5 times 1K with 3 minutes rest, and I averaged 3:01 for that. And then I did 2 1K breakdowns, 500, 300, 200 with 90 seconds rest, 1 minute rest, and 3 minutes rest in between the sets. And I think I ran somewhere around like 127, 51, and 33. So not too much faster, but just turn over a little bit. That wasn't really the priority of the workout. The priority was definitely the 1K, so I worked pretty hard on those and just got in some turnover on the 1K breakdowns. And now today I'm very sore from yesterday's workout, but again, it's a very good soreness, and I feel very structurally sound. So moving in the right direction again and feeling great. So I know I outlined all of my planned training for this phase 2, but because of this little setback, I'm having to change quite a bit. The biggest change is that I'm choosing not to race the 3K this weekend just because of multiple things. The main reason that I'm not racing this weekend is because of the setback in training, and I was unable to get in a lot of the workouts that I was hoping to prepare myself for a 3K. So just going to take that one off the schedule, which is fine because the 3K was not really the big emphasis of this whole training thing. That was the least important of the personal best that I want to set. It was just going to be, if I can set a personal best in it, it'd be great. It was more just to introduce racing again, but that'll have to hold off a little bit for now, unfortunately. The second reason I'm choosing not to race is because an unexpected coaching duty came up in the past couple weeks after I planned all this training, and I actually won't even be in town for the 3K, so I can't get it in unless there are 3 sections of the 3K, and I would be in the fastest one, which would be too fast for me, and it'll be after traveling a bunch, and it just wouldn't be a good idea to try to race right when coming back from traveling. So just not going to worry about the 3K this weekend. So when all this stuff started going down with my knee, it was really hard to make the right decision because it's pretty difficult to see past the near future, and the near future for me was racing a 3K, which I hadn't done since college, and I was very excited to do it, and this would be one of my only opportunities for probably another year to run a PB in a 3K. So I really had to think big picture and what's the most important thing, and the most important thing is being ready for outdoor track, which is still almost 2 months away. So I didn't want to make this setback any longer than it needed to be. So my main advice for dealing with setbacks is to attack them as soon as possible, and also just to think about the positives that you're getting from a little bit of rest from training. Believe me, it's not the biggest deal in the world if you miss a few days of training every couple months or so. You'll get past it and you'll keep getting fitter, so not a big deal. For me personally, not only did the few days off from running help my knee out, but it also cleared up some problems in my left foot that I've been having for a long time. So I told you that I've gone from Achilles tendonitis to plantar fasciitis to peroneal tendonitis in my left foot, and I'm happy to say that's all completely gone now, and that's probably the first time I've been able to say that since before the Houston Half Marathon. So I feel great about all that now. So just don't panic about anything that you're dealing with that you have to miss a few days of training for, because I know it can be frustrating missing a few days, but it's even more frustrating missing more days because you were afraid to take those days off before. So for me, in the past academic year, which I actually count from about May to April, just because that makes more sense with the collegiate training cycle and everything, this is the first thing that has caused a more serious interruption in my training. And I can honestly say I'm happy about that, because from where I've been in the past couple of years, to have only one major thing that interrupted my training just for a little bit, I mean, it affected my training for a couple weeks. That's not a big deal at all, so I'm happy that this is the first thing that's happened. And I'm also happier that I've dealt with it quickly and moved on and feeling great. So that'll be it for this video. Like I said, I just wanted to update you all on all the important things through this process and prepping for outdoor track. So I will see you in the next video.